How are you guys? Always going to be a reflection back there. I got to bounce out the reflection. Hi. There you go. She's with her grandbaby. I was with my grandbaby. Yes, I was earlier. I have had a busy day and I'm coming on quick because I had a point of topic, which I have to bring. I have to actually look it up to tell you what my point is. How is everybody? How are you guys? Hi, tall oaks. I love oak trees. Are you a tall oak? Really? I like tall oak trees. Hi, Veronica. Hi, you guys. Big Barbie. You missed me. I was on last night. You can't have missed me that much. How is everybody? Hi, Jenny. Yeah, Burlington, Ontario. There you go. Hi from Kansas. Where would you live? On another planet. I don't know. It's hard to say because I'd actually only live where my Jason lived and my Keith lived. So wherever my kids are is where I'm going to live. That's it. Pretty much that's what I'm going to do. Hey, I got a notice that I'm on live. It says I'm on live. I got my own notice to my own channel. First time ever. All right, you guys. Yeah. Okay. I didn't get a notification. All right, cool. Yeah, how are you guys? I was watching the last live when I got this notice. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So this morning, I'm up in Santa Clarita. I have not showered since yesterday, just a warning. I'm still wearing yesterday's makeup and I threw Edmonton and I threw more on because I can't get everything done if I have to stop and shower. That sounds really weird, but I'm driving always here and there and I'm always itchy. Anyway, so I went up north and I was looking at my emails looking for, I'm worried about the earthquake and the rain I sent up. Oh yeah, Julia, there's really no, I don't know what to say. There's an earthquake, but there's always earthquakes. Look at this. Somebody help me with this set. I'm like a set disaster. Okay, so this is the same, this is the same makeup. I just threw purple over and I put some foundation on. I drew my eyebrows back on again because I was wearing a cap. So my hair is all crazy. But anyway, I was up in Santa Clarita and I looked at my email because I was expecting after 3 years, you all, the email from the police discovery unit, the body cams and all the stuff they don't give you unless you have a court case. But I was waiting for all of that stuff on Keith's accident. And oh, I'm sorry, Deborah, that your dad passed away. No, you just keep caking makeup on over and like putting the stuff under here. I had to because it's just easier. Anyway, I finally, after 3 years and 5 subpoenas and a lawsuit, got all of the body cam footage, 145 files. So I just got it. So that's what I got, which is really cool. So I got it, y'all. Finally, this is your 3 and a bit, August. So I got it. Now I was going through it. So yeah, I can hear myself on the 911 call calling in to ask where my son is. And they're acting like they don't even know there's a fucking accident. And then they disconnect me and then they talk to the whoever, police person. And they're like, do we tell the mother? What do you want me to do? And the guy's like, we'll have officer so-and-so call the mother. No one ever called me. No one ever called me. David called me, Keith's friend, who George called because George didn't have my number and didn't have Jason's number because he was Keith's friend. But he had David's number and David had all of our numbers. That's how I found out. David sent me the map, the whatever, where somebody is. I'm sorry, he had pneumonia, Deborah. That's a common thing if people are older. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Irish American pinup doll. I'm sorry for you too. Yeah. So I haven't looked into that plane crash. I did. I know no one ever called me. Like David called me and I threatened to kill him when he called me because he's like, Keith is here. You need to go. And he wouldn't tell me Keith died. And I knew Keith died. So I was like, ooh, you just had a nose job. Brittany, how's it feeling? How's it feeling? Oh my God. Okay, I can't think about that. My nose feels like it might hurt. But anyway, I got the if it wasn't for David, I wouldn't have known where to find him. So, oh my God, wait, what? Perfectly imperfect in New Jersey? What do you mean your son is missing and his phone was found? Honey, what do you mean by that? Tell us what you mean. When's he been missing for? Oh, God. Hopefully it's a mistake. Did you used to look for Cappy? I don't know what that means. Did I do videos on Isaac Cappy? Yes. Yes, I did. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this real briefly because, you know, I feel like ranting tonight. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm looking through them. I can see, and actually, what people told us turns out to be true, but no one paid attention. It's weird. Anyway, my nose is swollen. Okay, good. Well, it's going to be swollen. It's like anything you get operated on is going to be swollen. Okay, so I've got to wash my bed sheets because I got makeup all over them. You don't care. So somebody wrote last night in reference to my ranting. Okay, 18-year-old LJ phone was his, and he died mysteriously. You'll have to send me that information. I just went. Oh, a phone was his friend. I get what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. Anyway, as I was talking last night, somebody was messaging on Facebook, so you can go down. My granddaughters are so cute. I love them. Everybody's granddaughters are so cute. Okay, Sicklerville. I don't know. Just email me because I can't keep it in my head, honey. Look, there's a thing on my phone. Anyway, somebody wrote about soul contracts, and the soul contracts that they said, because I was talking about John, and you know how I go off on him. We're finally fully divorced as of 2 days ago. I think, or it could be now. Whatever, the paperwork's done, and my lawyers filed it. So it's done, like after 36 years. And 4 years in a divorce for no reason. But anyway, not the point. Now that I'm divorced, I can be friends. It's finally done. It would be 4 years this September 19th. So there. Oh, cute granddaughters. I love them all. Grandsons and granddaughters. So what the hell was my point? Anyway, I was talking about John last night because some of the shit still pisses me off. It can piss me off. That's okay. I'm allowed to be pissed off and I'm allowed to talk about it. And so are you and so is everybody, right? However, somebody wrote on here and they're like, they're trying to school people who go on tirades like I do, I'm assuming. And they're saying that there's soul contracts and that you're to learn a lesson. Stop with the bullshit, y'all. There aren't soul contracts the way that they're described by New Agers who like to throw that at you. There's a reason why everybody dies. There's a reason. There is not, I'm going to say this again. Little 9-year-old girl murdered in Texas, found under her bed. Somebody knocked on the door. Little 9-year-old girl found murdered, raped, and strangled. Please enlighten me to the soul contract of why God would put that lovely little child in that circumstance. That is bullshit. God doesn't do that. The only person who does that is the other one that works for the beast system. God does not do that. He does not say, go back to earth, you unaware, can't remember your past life, fucking shows up on planet Earth so you can be raped, murdered, pillaged, beaten, stabbed, drugged, sex trafficked out, prostituted, or model, famous, money, boyfriends, happiness, happy kids. The soul contract thing is a new age. Well, the way that they speak it or the way that it's implied is a new age lie. That's not true. And I answered this woman. You can see the comment on my YouTube. I cannot remember who did. I've got to look it up, but I was reading it and I thought I would reply. It's not the way you think. A soul contract or any contract has to be, it's not karma. It's not karma. Karma is not karma. Okay. No, it is not karma from a past. Are you telling me a small child raped, murdered, sodomized, just go with me on this, and killed, right? That's her past life karma. So God is a vengeful, evil, fugly God that says, you're going to be born onto earth. You're going to pick your parents, pick your life, pick your appearance. And that, I don't know what to say about that. You need to tell me the lesson that soul's learning, because that is not God's work. And karma is another word for balance. And the balance can come in different ways. The balance can come in ways where it's not like you cut my finger off, I'm going to go cut your finger off. I know, Lucifer is the one that does that. That's correct. God does not do that. And that is a lie for people to say it. Also, if I enter into a contract with you, anybody, and I do that, right? You have to have all of the information up front to make an informed decision, and so do I. If our memories are wiped, we do not have an informed decision. There is some amount of choice, but there isn't even really free will, because if you cut me off on the street, you block my free will. You know what I mean? If you drive up right here and I'm trying to go straight, then you've stopped my free will. The free will that you have, yes, I get it. Why would you come back to earth? Wait, let me see that. Hold on. If your sins are forgiven, I have no idea about that, Melissa. I believe Jesus was there. I believe that Jesus was here. And I've already told you guys this. Don't yell at me. I don't believe in the Bible because I don't know who wrote it. I wasn't there. And if I was there, I can't remember I was there. So either way, I don't believe it. Okay? So I don't believe it because I wasn't there. Just because a bunch of men in a fucking church wearing a bunch of robes tell me, oh, read the Bible. Who the fuck told you to read the Bible? How do you even know where the Bible's from? I don't understand that. I know God myself. I have always known, okay? I know man wrote it. Obviously, you can tell it's very misogynistic. But you either know God, you know you come from a God source, or you don't. It does not have to be Jesus the way they describe either. I do believe, however, Jesus is one of the enlightened people because let me word it this way. All of the Chinese population who believe in Buddha and some Muslim, if I'm getting that correct, why would God put them on earth and say, here, pick this God if they were all going to go to hell? They're not. So in that sense, I don't believe it. Maybe we're all talking about the same God or a similar God or something like that. But the New Age stuff is crap. The soul contracts, I'm trying to find this woman's comment from the live last night. I replied back because I'm an asshole and I don't really care, but she's trying to make it like I feel, and she's saying it in love and light, and that's so condescending. Don't do that love and light stuff, okay? Don't say that shit to me. Just be real and say what you got to say. I actually do believe in Jesus. Amen. I do pray to Jesus. That is who I pray to. That is actually what I believe in. And I'm entitled to believe, and so are you, in whatever you want to believe in, okay? So you are able to do that. Okay, hold on a second here. What did this woman, let's see. Let me just look. I have to look back through the comments. I meant to screenshot it, but my phone's up there, so I can't really do it. So they were saying to me, let me see. I'm just going to read it because I find it interesting. Because they always use soul contracts like I'm an ignorant bitch being a psychic who doesn't know what a soul contract is. I know what it is. I don't agree with it. I'm fucking agree with you, okay? And I've been in this business my entire life. I didn't come into it as an adult and try to fucking do it. I literally have lived this life. When it wasn't popular and I wasn't making money, I have never changed my acumen about what I think. Period. So, yeah, so let me see. Whatever she wrote, now I'm looking for it. But anyway, she says, I need to understand that when I forgive things, which is condescending, if my child is raped and murdered, I'm not forgiving you for doing that. I'm not doing that. No, sorry. And if you can do that, good for you. It might be better for you, but I don't know. Because we are not given a clear parameter while we're here. It should be common sense without a Bible that you don't maim and hurt people. That should just let God forgive it. Exactly. I'm human. I would not. Thank you, Monica. Exactly. So I can't find the email, but I replied to her. Anyway, and she's saying, it'll be easier for you if you do this. And I'm like, fuck you. No, Because first of all, when you're talking about soul contracts, number one, nobody's bound into any kind of contract. You're allowed to change your mind in any instant. Number two, who fucking does a contract on the other side and says, I'm going to wipe your memory out so you don't remember and force you into a bad place, yeah, where there is no free will. Yeah, we got bound to come down here. It's not entirely, we're not entirely forced down here, but we're somewhat hijacked down here, okay? We are, and I am glad I asked my son to forgive me before he died, because he died, and I would hate to think the things I did, which were just normal mother things. I didn't do anything too outrageous, but I needed to ask him because I did scream at him and I did slap him and shit like that. So I needed to ask Keith to forgive me, and I've asked Jason to forgive me too. So these are things that I've chosen to do. And you can ask people to forgive you. Those are things I've chosen. So I understand the concept of forgiveness, and I have forgiven. Yes, I remember a past life. Absolutely. That's a past life. But how many lifetimes have you been bound here? Just because you have a past life, are you on a chain gang? Is it like Groundhog Day? Are you supposed to do this or supposed to do that? Let's see, commenter rants on about forgiving. Yeah, well, I mean, I did ask for forgiveness from my son. I have done it. People I do wrong, I apologize to. Soul contracts and soul ties, the same. Well, they say they're somewhat similar. The concept of soul contract, from my understanding, from my entire life, is that if you and I are on the other side, so Sally and Sloan are on the other side, and we're like, I fucking hate you, I fucking hate you. Okay, let's try to be friends in this life. So we'll be born, straight looping, exactly. So we'll be born as siblings and see if we can get along. And then I end up killing Sally because she pisses me off because she's my sister, and my sibling, and I don't like her, right? Well, first of all, there would be a lesson in being born sisters, so yes, but with the shit that happens on this planet, that is not God, and no one's learning from that. No one's learning from it. Hi, Debbie. Hi, thank you. Who's learning from it? And again, when people say there's always a reason, fuck off. There isn't always a reason. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes shit happens. We are controlling, and we want to say, we know how this works. Look, here's the book. No. Not everything happens for a reason, unless you're going to tell me why a small child is raped and murdered and the reason behind that. And if the small child was a psychopath in the last life, how did the small child even know what's happening to it in this life? Because it has no memory of the past life. So what? We're just going to kill and like wreak havoc on this little, was not correct. Yeah, I don't think, no, I didn't, but Dolores Cannon is good at what she does. But again, she's doing the concept through her regressions and past life stuff with people. And again, they have us gridded here. We're not free to come and go as we want. So we're gridded here, and there is evil, and there is, I mean, I don't know if the Bible is factual or not, or it's a story. Catholics are taught it's a story, according to John, because he's Catholic, I'm not. So but I do believe in Jesus. Amen. So, and I do know when you're clearing a house, demons don't like Jesus. So that is what I use to clear a house. They do not like Jesus. But do I believe in the entire Bible? No, because I have no clue who wrote that shit. And then if you're going to look at the Quran or anywhere else where they say in the name of religion, and they beat their wives and they do shit like that in the name of religion, what God do you know that says Guelph, Ontario says beat your wife? But I'm more interested in people trying to make people feel guilty because they have anger towards people who did them wrong. Why is that a bad thing? Why would you not be angry if somebody did something to you? Why would you not be angry? Are you supposed to eat that anger? Am I supposed to carry that anger in here and not speak about it, okay? And not speak about it because I'm angry? What, like, I'm sorry. So the person who commits the crime gets to la 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 like a Disney cartoon down the street, and I'm supposed to go, oh, I forgive you. Why would I do that? Why? Yeah, the Book of Enoch's really good. Absolutely. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? And don't tell me once I forgive, hi Jana, once I forgive like John say, and I've forgiven John. That doesn't mean I'm not going to mention the shit that he did. Because I am going to mention the shit he did. Because I can mention the shit he did. So why would I not do that? I mean, what? Oh, I'm supposed to just change my tune and never mention it again? Oh, don't mention it. You shut your mouth because you experienced that. Do you see what they're doing? And I don't like that. Doesn't mean I don't love John. Doesn't mean I'm going to do anything to John. Doesn't mean any of that. It just means as a married person, I'm going to say things that, of course, it makes you sick eating your anger. Yes, Debbie, it does. Yes. I do know Keith's views on death. According to him, before he died, he told me, yes. Yes, absolutely. And Keith had a Scorpio moon. So don't be thinking he wasn't about getting even with your ass, because he would if he could get even with you. He was a funny kid. Anyway, yeah, you have to have boundaries, and you're allowed to speak about what happened to you. People are allowed to speak about it. And then we have these new agers that talk about, oh, it was a soul contract and there's a reason for everything. Well, I hope when your child gets raped and murdered that you can fucking say that, because I can't say that. So, and I mean that. People who espouse that are ridiculous or they are ignorant. It's ridiculous. I know. Fake positive. I know. And then she's like, I say this with love and light. Stop, no Scorpio bashing. Jana, you know he's my son and I love him. and you're my twin and I love you. I know they spread lies. And the reason they spread lies is because you're supposed to feel shame about the fact that you feel anger that someone did something to you. Why should you feel ashamed of that? You don't have to carry it around and wear it like a sign on your forehead. But if you're allowed to talk about what happened. I mean, you're allowed to talk about it. Or should you not talk about it? Should you not talk about it? Should you never say a word about it? So that's not how it works on, I know, bright signing. I know, it's so fucked up. Oh, you need to forgive her. I'm not forgiving him. I didn't say I'm with him all the time. I didn't say I don't, Gemini in the house. I didn't say I don't forgive anybody. I'm still, let's see, my daughter died, and not sure what she thought about death. It doesn't matter what she thought. She will have been crossed over properly. Angie, don't worry about that. She will have been crossed over properly. You do not need to worry about that. I promise you that. It doesn't matter if God is not like that. That's the point. When they come here and they say to people, when they fucking say, oh my God, God's teaching you a lesson with karma. I know, I'm so sorry, Angie, for that. But I want you to understand, your daughter will have crossed over. Even if she was atheist, even if she didn't believe in God, it doesn't matter. There are trickeries going on here. Religion is the Yes, exactly. It's such crap. It's such crap. Hold on, let me see. Here we are. I had to fucking reply to her. Let's see. There are many who come back from near death. Yes, okay, she's still doing it. Yes, I get it. I had a near death, by the way, so I understand what you're talking about. Not to the extent that my heart stopped, but I crossed out of my body and my guide was there. And it's not the way they talk about. Nobody goes through a near death where the other side, look at this lie. Look at this. What's her name? Sue Chan, 6414. We're replying to her. Go look in the comments. There are many who are brought back from near-death experience who survived horrific traumas in their lives, including molestations and torture. What they are told in the other side is eye-opening. Okay, yes, okay, no. The messages are deep and profound. Nobody's saying the messages aren't deep or profound, but I fucking guarantee you no soul contract is completely commit every sin against another human being. No contract is that. That is not of God, okay? And nobody's saying that they didn't. I'm not stupid. Who is this person? Anyway, let's see. I told her I don't believe in it, and she just put soul contracts are to learn for certain people and to give them lessons. You trying to fucking blame me for something? Fuck you. And we go through horrible things for reasons and it will become clear later. That's nice, but that's not entirely true. That's not entirely true. Because first of all, I know, right? For I was Bigfoot and go, oh, how fun, Susan. And then it says, once we understand this, it is able to forgive ourselves and those who hurt us. First of all, I don't have to forgive myself if somebody murdered me, you condescending bitch, right? and forgive us when we make mistakes. First of all, we're so not even talking about that. Obviously, every human being makes mistakes. Murder is not a mistake. It's a fucking choice. It's a fucking choice, okay? Murder is not a mistake. I'm sorry. I murdered your whole family. Will you forgive me? It was a mistake. That's not a mistake. A mistake is, and you can't even say cheating's a mistake because you consciously go out of your way to cheat, okay? So, but a mistake is like, I didn't see the light. I stepped on your foot. I made this wrong choice. I sold a house with this in mind. I shouldn't have done this. You know, I put my kid in this school thinking that he would have friends, but that was a mistake because he got into trouble. Whatever it is. It isn't exactly murder, rape, and pillaging. That's not a mistake. That's a fucking choice or a compulsion based on something being in, I know, right? It's just, and then she says, you have a beautiful soul and can help so many. You don't need to keep talking about your hurt once you have forgiven it all. I understand that, but I'm going to keep talking. My mic's hidden away. She put, the peace and joy will come when you embrace these things, sending the thoughts with love. Okay, I've got to say this to you, Sue Chang 6414. I never reply back, but here's the thing. I find peace. I guarantee you, I pretty much do what I want to do all day long, and I know it's condescending. She must be a spiritual guru on the other side. Here's what I can tell you from doing this work and talking to people who are dead on the other side. I know it just says shut up, right, Aggie? I know. Here's the thing. I live a peaceful life. I go hiking. I talk to animals. I spend time with my grandkids. I spend time with my friends. I don't drink or smoke. I am peaceful. I am still going to bring up stuff. And somebody said this to me about child trafficking too. Not this woman, another woman. Yeah, I know. It is insulting. It's some see you next Tuesday. I don't care what she says. I don't believe it, and I don't believe it. So I don't have to. But here's the thing. Go off my channel if you think that. And I don't need you to tell me what the spirituality is. I can tell when you're authentic. And I have spiritual friends, one who's very much believes in metal music is my religion. I'm kind of with you, Damien, and hiking. One of my friends is very much biblical in the way that she reads and does, and very Christian, and that's what she does. And yes, exactly. She's that way. We differ on opinions, but we're still friends because she's not a condescending a-hole. And one of my other friends, Brian, that taught me astrology, he's very well versed in metaphysics. And we even have different opinions on karma and certain things. And we all have remained friends for decades because we don't say shit like that, okay? We don't say shit like that to each other because even though I can think you're stupid at what you say or whatever, I know, right? She's stupid, whatever. But here, God is real and God does not come down here. Now, there is balance. There's balance, which is karma. Karma is balance. So when you take away or you give to, there's a balancing on the other side of it. That does not mean a tit for tat necessarily, okay? It doesn't mean that. And secondly, yes, Brian is the best. Going back 40 years, teaching me my craft in astrology. But here's the thing. When you're looking at soul contracts, and I have had out of body. I told you, the boob job in 2012, when I left and my guide was there. Now, I didn't fully cross out, but my heart stopped. So there was that. And it's kind of interesting. I've seen the other side. I talked to people on the other side. I've talked to people who've been murdered, as in they've come through. My best friend was killed in a motorcycle accident and showed me the other side. From his, I had a very Catholic friend that died and showed me the other side from her perspective. So there's many different variations and it's dimensional. It's not, there's a fucking reason for everything because there is not a reason for everything. Other than the reason, yes, these are all tattoos of my son and my other son. I mean, my grown son and my Jason right there. My Chirpy on his baby shower day, I took a side sneaky photo, and my Keithy just before he died. So those are those. Yes, there are reasons things happen. Like if you turn right and you hit a skateboarder on a skateboard because you didn't look, Yeah, the reason is you didn't fucking look, but did the kid need to be hit on the skateboard? And what lesson is he learning? Probably learning the lesson to wait until the car turns right, but kids aren't thinking like that. So this planet isn't entirely as they, yes, well, that's another thing, Susan. They say Satan and God exist in order to balance, right? However, they say without dark, you can't have light. But we were light or of positive, okay? We were positive until the beast system took over. If you can't tell there's a beast system out there right now and that half the shit that's happening is not supposed to be happening, I can't really help you. Because, well, I haven't drank alcohol in a month, coming from drinking almost. Good for you, Veronica. That's awesome. 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 This is a very dark place here. And so what do you think of, I don't even know if it's 6 planets in retrograde. I haven't even looked. I don't even care. I don't think of anything. They're always in retrograde. They're in, they're out, they're whatever. Oh, he would connect. Yes, of course he would connect to source after an overdose. Jimmy died of an overdose, and Jimmy's the one that came to get Keith. So, yes, find a shaman to clear you. I mean, you know, my stepson died, and he came to get my son. So, and I never thought that he wasn't with source. So, happy 30 pounds lost. Okay, so when you're looking at mentioning things, I heard this from somebody who said, you're such a, here's how they start it. You're such a positive person. You're such a positive person, okay? And then they say, but you talk about child trafficking and that lowers your energy. Are you stupid when you say that? Because here's the thing, okay? Yeah, I'm Christian. I don't care. I am Christian. That's what I am. I mean, unless you're going to try to talk me out of it, but I mean, and I didn't need to go to church to learn that or read a Bible. I knew it from when I was little. I knew God existed. I saw it. I heard it. That's a thing. I already know. I don't need anything. I have Jesus hanging in 3 rooms and crosses over the doors. Okay, so they said when I talk about the child trafficking, I'm lower the vibration, that I need to see the beauty in the world. Okay, again, I hike every day, more than most, okay? More than most. I hike for hours, 4 or 5 hours a day. I ignore work to hike in order to see the beauty. But that doesn't mean you don't educate people about things that are happening. That's what God's soldiers do. If you are a warrior for God, which I'm trying to be, in other words, I'm here to help people. I'm here to leave a positive mark, not a negative one. I have to mention what I know to be true. I have to mention what I know. Thank you for that. There is righteous. I don't even know if I have righteous anger in my marriage or I'm just pissed off. I can agree with that. I can be pissed off. I'm not saying I'm not. But how many of you have been married 36 years? I want to know that. How many people have been married 36 years and then got a divorce? This is your 36. This is your 36. Very few people are married 36 years that are my age. Okay? Seriously. All right. So when we're talking about child, and he can be pissed off at me too. He brings up shit too. It's fine. He can do what he wants. So when you talk about child trafficking and you educate people about what's going on, you stop them in their tracks. There you go. Shelley understands then. And you're still going to say shitty things and you still love the person. That's the way it is. At least I'm a kind person. So I am showing, quote, love and light by continuing to pay bills. 40 years and don't know how much more. Do you want me to come help free you? 49. Wait, I'm 49, married for 25. So, yeah, I mean, I'm saying the husbands probably have it too. But here's the thing. I can admit if I'm wrong. I can admit everything. The act of a truly spiritual and kind person is by the way they treat people, even in the face of those people who have wronged them. We're talking about action, not lip service. So don't email me anymore and tell me that I don't understand. 32 years and then your husband died. I'm sorry. It's in the action. What action are you taking to be a person of love and light? What actions are you taking? what actions are you taking? Are you doing anything positive, even for the person that pissed you off? Are you? Are you kind? Do you take care of? Do you still honor and treat out of the way you feel spiritually to people you hate? Because I do. People I dislike. Do you? Because I do. Regardless of what I'm fighting with you with, I will still take care of you. So I bet you, Miss Commenter, you probably don't do that because very few people do. I mean, there's a bunch of us on here that do, but you wouldn't be one of them. So yeah, okay, 41 years married and I'm in my 50s. There you go. Oh shit, there you go. I'm nearly 50, been with mine since 18, too long. Yeah, I'm 20 when I met John. And not saying he taught me a lot. I'm not saying that. But maybe the lesson isn't mine to learn. Maybe the lesson is somebody else's to learn and it's not mine. Did you ever think of that? It's not always the person, you know. And when you're talking about, there are sins handed on down, absolutely, but those are called ancestral curses, not just curses like I curse you out on the street or whatever. We're not talking about that. There are ancestral curses where the behavior, hi Ashley, how are you? Where the behavior, some lessons are for me to learn on this earth. Jason's kicking my ass in this life. But what I'm saying is, I forget what I was saying. There I was saying something and I completely blanked out on it. With what it was. Oh, ancestral curses. So what happens is when you come from a family, okay, when you come from a family, let's say they're cartel thugs, let's just say, and for generations they behave that way. That gets into their energetic DNA. It's not necessarily DNA, it's energetic DNA. And when it gets into your energetic DNA, it is handed on down through the auric system, the meridians, and the energy field. And that is what we are talking about. And in order to let that go, okay, you actually have to correct the negative behavior. So that is alcoholic families. Yeah, it's not actually genetic as in DNA. That I don't believe. It's energetic and it's spiritual in its belief in its base, and it comes through the body's energy field. Okay, it comes through the body's energy field. Now, if you are a curse breaker in the family, and I hate to use the word curse because it sounds like a witch put a spell over a pot, and that is not what I mean. It's behavioral. It's patterning. So generational, correct? Ancestral behaviors. Okay. So if you come into this world and you don't agree with alcoholism, say, like I didn't agree with alcoholism. So if you don't agree with alcoholism and you are the one who is in the family to break that, you will have all kinds of shit thrown at you against your will and not because you deserve it. Because you are a warrior breaking bad behaviors so that the whole lineage can elevate. And there's many. They can come in the form of little babies. They can come in the form of all kinds of things. And I might also remind you that there are people on this planet who can choose, okay? Can be in the same, good for you for being sober. People in this planet who can all be in the same circumstance. You could have a family of 4 who had a child that was murdered, and only one of them will go to the place where they will murder that person who murdered their child, and the other 3 will choose to change that behavior. And you can have one person in a family that can fall way off on the energy field due to belief systems. But here's another element when it comes to the belief systems and the ancestral, what we call ancestral or past family history. What they say are the sins of the father. Another element of that, okay, another element of that is the people. Let's say you go back to the 1700s. I can't remember anything there, but let's say you go back to the 1700s and you go back into that lifetime. And in that lifetime, you were a robber and a bandit, whatever, right? And that's what you did. Okay, and you come through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime doing that. You are reinforcing an energetic code that is the way it is. As if you are picking up a cigarette going, smoking is good for you. Smoking is good for you, even though you know it's not good for you. The other thing is, back in the day when you are doing those things, you are like robbing the land and doing all of that. So if you're doing that kind of stuff, you have also opened your body up to beast system energies, because those are not energies of God. Those are beast system energies. So how did you open your energy field to allow that energy into you? Do you know a lot of times people cross over and they don't even fucking know what they did because they were tricked out of their bodies by energetic entities, demons, whatever you want to call them? Do you understand that, or do people not? Or is that also part of soul contract? Shut up. Because you know, if you know anything about reading the Akashic records, which is not the same as a soul contract, but if you know anything about the records, look at that movie with Matt Damon, the something bureau. What was that? Somebody tell me that movie. What the hell? You remember that one, the bureau? What was that one with Matt Damon? I can't remember it. Where he was in love with the ballerina and they kept trying to stop him from falling in love with her. Because do you remember that one? What's that, Matt? I gotta look it up. What's that Matt Damon movie? It's gonna be in the, oh my God, what is that? Should alcoholics be held accountable, or is it? No, I'm trying to tell you that. What is it? Adjustment Bureau, thank you. I'm like, come on, what is it? My brain's like, can't work. Okay, so that movie with Matt Damon, thank you for that. If you look at that movie, he wants to be in love. The men in the black suits, which could be, that's also who I saw before Keith died, was a man with a black hat in my corner. And I got right up. I was on live with you guys here. And I said, Jimmy's here. He's coming to get somebody. And when I got up to go to the bathroom, I saw the man in the black hat. And I said, not today. Get the fuck out of here. Because they're coming through on the astral level. So the Adjustment Bureau, the men in the black suits that follow Matt Damon's character around because they want him in government for whatever reason. This is an old time movie, Ivy. I watch it. It's really interesting because it is based in fact, from what I understand. But those men in the black suits, in the movie are actually on the astral level. So they're government operatives who reside in this dimension on Earth, of which there's many parallel dimensions, and we never really leave heaven, just so you know. We're split energetically. Anyway, the Adjustment Bureau guys try to stop Matt Damon, and he goes into a library. The library is a reference to the Akashic records. And if you've ever opened your Akashic records, yes, shadow men, but they're on the astral level. They're not really shadow men per se, but they're on the astral level. That's what happened before Keith died. The guy in the black hat showed up, and I fucking knew he was coming to take someone. I said it on a live stream here. I also said one of my sons would be dead by September. They give me information. He died in July. Didn't tell me which son. I warned both of my sons, and I said it live, and Keith came through on the blanket. So I'm quite aware, at least from my understanding from my own son being dead, period, quite aware of two of my sons. Well, Jimmy was my stepson. Quite aware because Jimmy comes to bring me messages, and I had a different kind of connection with him than with Keith. I see Keith differently and I see Jimmy differently. Jimmy's always been like physically in front of me. I see Jimmy. Keith, I feel him. I know he's there. He's a different way of coming through, but they're two different people. So see, you remember watching that. There you go, Tracy. So when I said it, that was psychic. So when you see the men in the black in the movie, they are on, no, it's the Adjustment Bureau. They are on, it's a little one where Matt Damon falls in love with a little ballerina girl. Anyway, those people on the astral level are here to control the Earth's energy, the beast system. They believe in the Earth, okay? So the sins of the father and the sins of just like, oh, well, your mother did this, so you did that, so they do that, blah, 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 the nonsense that's spewed, that shit, okay, that shit is of the Earth. No soul contract says you're going to come down here and agree to have your whole family murdered, raped, robbed, or pillaged in any kind of Ukrainian, whatever kind of circumstance ever. That is not a thing, okay? That is not what God does. That is not a thing. But you saw it, Love is Scorpio. That was Keith coming through from the other side. And people don't like me to say that. I get it. I get that there's people here that think I'm full of shit, but I was live streaming. I wasn't doing that. It was happening behind me. But the Adjustment Bureau is also, if you look at Matt Damon's character, they tried to stop him from going into the library and taking his book out to see what he does because they've switched the paperwork on him. They switched the contract. You got it? That's a reference for on this earth. They switched our contracts. And nobody is bound to a contract. You don't have to stay bound, but we are bound on earth. I really believe that. And you can come for me, but you, me, all of the channels on the earth, all of the people, all of them that say they talk to the other side, the ones that do talk to the other side, none of us know for sure. We don't fucking know for sure. I believe that I do from my faith because I've seen it when my best friend Randy died in a motorcycle accident. He showed me what he felt on the other side and he came to me and I stepped out of my body. I was 16 or 17. He was 18. Head split open on the road. Was wearing a helmet. Died right there. They had to hold his head together. Anyway, I wasn't there. Didn't know he died. He came and told me he had died. And so he showed me God's presence with him and I was able to see that. Always had an understanding of that. Always had an understanding of that. But when you see people who comment about your contract, they're blaming you. They're going in there and saying, your husband hit you. He hit you in the face, gave you a black eye, punched you in the stomach, cut your tongue out. You deserve it because you did a contract. There's a reason for everything. You needed to learn something. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Oh, really? Really? Because I learned nothing. Call me a stubborn, pig-headed bitch, but I don't learn anything from that. I don't learn from that. And just because, and then it sounds like Scientology, doesn't it? And just think of if you're Julian Assange and you're in jail and you're trying to let people know what's going on and you're in jail. Well, there's a reason for that. What? Because I tried to tell people what's going on so they could make an informed decision on Earth? What reason? What reason? Tell me the fucking reason. Never say to a person whose child's been murdered or whose kid's dead or who gets beat up by their husband or who's a man who gets beat up by their wife. Never fucking say to them, there's a reason for everything, because you are an ignorant, just awful person to say that. That's not true. That is not God's handiwork. Understand that. Yes, everything, that's correct, Sonia. Everything is for a reason. But if you're high on crack and you're drunk and you drive into a group of people because you can't see the sidewalk, that's the reason you drove into them. But is that a good reason? Good point. Exactly. It lacks empathy. It's ignorant. It's condescending. And don't go on my page and say shit like that. So I called you out. Also, I'm going to mention child trafficking. Even if it's a low vibration, you are supposed to protect children. You ignorant people that message me that. You ignorant people. And then here's my third thing that I'm going to go on a rant. I received an email and I had to hand it over. I wish I could pull it up on my phone. I had to hand it over to Deanna because she is well-versed in biblical stuff. This guy fucking writes me. I think he was a guy, and he's like telling me that I'm harming a lot of people by what I say. So here's what I say. If you think I'm harming a lot of people, that's your prerogative. You can think what you want. But why the fuck are you watching me? Then he says that his mother has changed because she's watched my channel. And that he used to do tarot cards and he's psychic and it's a gift from God. Well, first of all, I'm not here doing tarot cards. I can do tarot cards, but that's not what I do. Secondly, if you want to think you're psychic and it's a gift, good for you. And then he says, you have to find Jesus in order for it to be relevant, right? Like in order for you to get blessings. So again, he's blaming me for my stuff. In order for me to get blessings, I have to believe in Jesus. Loud and clear, I'm Christian. I personally believe in Jesus. In the name of Jesus, amen. I believe in Jesus. I don't believe in the Bible. And then he said, once you start doing that, you will get many blessings. Okay, first of all, I don't believe in Jesus for blessings. I believed in Jesus as a small child because I did. Because I did, okay? I didn't need my parents taking me to church or Sunday school to tell me that. I had an internal understanding of that. And it's my thing. I argued with my adopted father over the existence of God and Jesus as a child because he did not believe in it. And the first thing he said when he died, which was to my son who was 13, he said, and my son told me, tell your mom there is a God. This we argued. I got spanked and yelled at because he told me we just rot in the ground. Okay? So I had this knowledge and it was very fucking strong. I don't know what to say. Do I believe in the Bible? No, because it landed up on earth, and I'm going to say it again. Just like a Scientology book, okay? Dianetics. If the world blows up and one book is left and it's called Dianetics, the new people that inhabit the earth are going to say that that's the Bible because it's the only book that made it. And who wrote it? Crackpots. So there you go. And they've switched a lot of the Bible. I've not seen the original Bible. All right. I feel God every day as well. I make a point of living the way I speak. As I said, I'm not going to defile my body. I haven't showered, but other than that, I'm not going to defile it. I'm not going to drink and drug. I'm going to treat people nicely and I'm going to help people the best I can. So if you need help, I'm going to help you. I don't turn away crackpot on LSD. Exactly. So, oh my God. Okay, so there you go. Secondly, when you're looking at this world and contracts and all of that, oh, of course it was taken out of context. They're just, please, look at the people in the Middle East, allegedly, who believe in 57 virgins and whatever if they Allah Akbar bomb people. What God said that? Allah means God. What God said that? No God said that. No God said do that. Coconut cake. Me too. I can't. Don't. I will eat it. But who does that, right? So there's not. That's just not a fucking thing. It's not a thing. And soul contracts implies that you have to stay in the garbage and filth that you're around. And you do not. So when I speak about child trafficking, I'm going to speak about it. I'm going to speak up for children that are trafficked and children that have a problem on this planet, whether you think it's a low energy or not. I'm going to do that. That is what I'm going to do. That is 72 virgins. Thank you. 75, 72, 888. I don't know. I'm going to speak up for children. Because if you don't speak up for children, what is wrong with you? Oh, I just find the beauty in the world. Do you hear yourself? There is no beauty in the world when the reality of the world is children are having the issue that they're having within trafficking. So there is no beauty. Not really. There's the presence of moments of peaceful beauty. But that is going on behind the scenes. So how do you actually go to sleep at night, or are you only concerned with yourself? Because I could do a lot of things that have nothing to do with talking about child trafficking. I could do all kinds of things, but why would I not want to do what I know? Which brings me to another point, and I have to, it's on my phone. I'm going to have to put the link up because my friend Lori Burns, the Teen Project, look her up. So Lori bought the former Children of the Night shelter. I was talking to Lori. Her mother just passed, so prayers for Lori. Anyway, Lori bought the old Children of the Night shelter. Karma is balance. Michelle, karma is balance. It's balancing a situation. So let's say, I'll just give you an example from my perspective. Let's say you have a child and someone hurts your child and your child passes away. And so the person who hurt your child took your child graduating, having kids, family dinners, birthdays, all of the things that we mothers who've lost children don't experience. So a balance for that would be, perhaps, and not necessarily, would be that person comes in and maybe they can't have children because they took somebody else's children. It doesn't mean you get smacked up the side of the head with a fucking brick and knock your brains on the ground and stepped on and squashed. Just so you know. Okay, so when you look at things like that, okay, so Lori bought the former Children of the Night over on Sylvan Street in Van Nuys. I worked there before I had Keithy, up until I had Keithy when Jimmy died. So when Jimmy died, I quit working because I went bananas. Insane. I just had Keithy and his brother died. Anyway, so I quit working at that time over there. But I worked there, and little Jason and I used to go there. I could bring Jason to work with me, which is really great. I did everything from check kids in, to take them to hair appointments, to take them to doctor's appointments, take them to weekend outings, take them horseback riding, all of that kind of stuff. Anyway, I really liked it there. I actually felt at home there with these kids that were under the age of 18, and they were all prostitutes out on the street. That's correct. You heard me correct. From 12 to 18 we had in there, and some of the kids were prostitutes. Anyway, Lori bought the shelter, and she's opening it up as her shelter for 18 and over and pregnant girls. Anyway, she's remodeling the building, right? She's remodeling it. I have a link so you guys can look. And so if you want to donate to the rooms in the building, and I don't know how many rooms she's going to have, but the rooms, everybody can have their own room, meaning you can donate to the room and put the beds in and put the bed sheets in and do that kind of thing to your own taste, by donating it. So I'm going to pick a room there. We were just talking about it, and we're going to put Keith's plaque in the room. And the other shelter, my name's on the room. So there's like a Sloan Psychic room, meaning I did that room, and it was pink and purple, that room with Buddha and all of that, and girly room. But this one's going to be for Keith. And Keith was working with Lori over there. Actually, Lori helped Keith out because he needed to do community service, and so he went to her to work. So I would really love it. And Lori has a son named Michael who died about 4 years or 2 years before Keith in a motorcycle accident as well. Somebody ran him off the road and just left him on the freeway off ramp and just fucking left him there. So I'm sure she'll put a room up for Michael as well. So anyway, she's doing that. I'm going to put the link up so you can see, and you can always give donations to her and stuff like that, and to the shelter, or you can go and help her work. I go down and help her do stuff. So I show up there and I do stuff. I drop my clothes off there too. Motorbikes are the worst. They're so dangerous. So dangerous. I know Lori. I love Lori. I trust Lori. I trust her. She's done really well in her life. And, she's former sex worker on the streets. And she's with God, and I just really like her. So anyway, I will put the link up. She just emailed me the link, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah, she used to be a heroin addict, and she prostituted and stuff like that. Pulled herself out of the gutter and did really good. She speaks all over the world about it, and she's amazing. She's written about it. She's fucking amazing. And I met her through her sister. And so it was really great. Anyway, she's a runner too. And she's a little blonde, petite little blonde Pisces. Oh, 7 years. I'm so sorry your little brother passed. It's so devastating for everybody. So devastating. Anyway, when I'll donate anonymously to a room. I'll just put the link up, and you can contact her and ask how you would do that. You can actually tell her, and when I think they're going to come out of construction. They're going to come out of construction in, I want to say in February. They said December, but she said, I'm telling you it's February. Construction workers are. And so you can actually go there and we did it at the Freehab. You can paint the room. You can do all of that. And at the Freehab, I think Michael, her son's picture's up in the Maroon 5 room. So Maroon 5 went and donated a room over there. I'm in the upstairs rooms. I donated with a bunch of friends, of Lori's and her sister and friends of the family. Oh my God, Rita. Jesus, I'm sorry, Rita. Jeez. I'm so sorry about that. I feel for that. It's horrible. 2 siblings. Terrible. Yeah, I'll put her link up, and you can talk to her. She has different shelters. This one will be in the valley. And this one always made me happy. I was always happy to be around those kids on the street and live their life. I understood it. And it was interesting to me to be able to watch them. And I will say this. I was able to use my astrology to communicate with them. So that was also a good thing. But actually, you can go in when she's ready to open it up, like when the basic construction's been done. Because my understanding is Children of the Night, they sold the building. I want to say in 2018, and then somebody bought it. Somebody bought it in between, and I don't know what they were going to do with it, but they didn't get the funding for whatever they were going to do or the permits. And so then it went back up on the market, and then there were a whole bunch of shelters looking to get it. And Lori's team bid on it and got it, and so it went to her. And so it went through a bunch of stuff, and now it's in construction, which is great. And so anyway, what we did at Freehab is we went in there. Like, we went in there for the month before it opened, and we painted the rooms ourselves and did all of that. So I painted the room, and then we decorated the room, the blankets, yes, she will beat it. We did, our daughter was murdered 3 weeks shy of her 21st birthday. Oh my fucking God, wait. Okay, our only living child is coming to CA for 4 days with friends on vacation. I'm so very afraid. Don't be afraid, Candy. I'm so sorry about your daughter. See, the murder. Yeah, okay. I'm really sorry, Candy. Do not live in fear. Do not live in fear. Your daughter wouldn't want you to be in fear, and your only living child coming to visit you is fantastic. There needs to be no fear. Do not think about what could happen, because you're not going to go there. So do not think about that. Just enjoy your remaining child. And I know what you're talking about with that fear, because I just have my Jason. So I totally understand. So I literally feel for you that you should not worry about fear. Don't worry about it. You cannot stop. You cannot stop what's going to happen. So enjoy your remaining child. Love them. That's all. See, that's what I learned to do after Keith. I'll tell you something. The most fear I had was after Keith died and Jason was riding a motorcycle, and I kid you not. I kid you not. I came out of the Empire Center. Let your ears and sinuses acclimate. Wait, can it be sure you don't drive in the valley? I don't know what that means. I got all the files today. I got the download of 144 files. I have to go through all the video. I started to go through the video. I heard David telling Jason on the phone, on the video, on the police cam, that his brother was dead. And I could hear David arguing with Jason. No, bro, I'm not joking. That's it. He's not in the hospital. He's dead. Like, because David got there right when the cops pronounced him dead. Or whoever pronounced him dead. I couldn't quite see. So anyway, I've gotten to that video and a couple of other videos and a couple of other conversations. So anyway, so I have to go through so many. Anyway, here's what I'm going to say. After Keith died, I had my remaining son, which is Jason. And Jason maybe was smoking too much weed or whatever he was on at the time. And he was riding a motorbike, because both my boys rode motorbikes, but I didn't know that, I feel my mom forgot about. Oh, I'm sorry, and she probably did. It's not hard. I try and I don't forget about my Jason, though. She probably did the best she could. It's a huge fucking shock. It's a huge fucking shock. There is no other shock like that. There's no other shock. You have to work really hard to function. And maybe your mom just couldn't function. I'm thinking, because I know a lot of people who couldn't. The Adjustment Bureau. Okay, so Jason was riding a motorbike, and I was coming out of the Empire Center in Burbank. And we were going on the freeway, and there's like 5 lanes of freeway like this. And I remember seeing a motorbike come by like this and then whip like this. And I was like, shit, that looks like Jason. And he caught my eye. I was in the car behind him, and he turned around and he looked at me and like kind of waved. My heart dropped, because I couldn't even watch him on a motorbike. I thought I was going to fucking die, because Jason got hit the day after Keith died. Remember that? The lady ran over him at the stop sign. He was stopped at the stop sign with his leg out. She drove over and practically crushed his ankle, but didn't. Anyway, Candy, don't. Just love your child. I meant to tell you, because when I saw it, oh, Jennifer, thank you for, Jennifer, you're hilarious. Thank you. You're always so generous. You're always so generous. So generous. Thank you for that. Yeah, Jason got run over the day after. That's a whole thing. Anyway, he did make it home. A lady brought him home, and we were in the emergency room. So my one son had just died, and my other one just got in a motorcycle accident again. Remember the past. You will see them everywhere. They will show up. They will show you the best way they can. Thank you, Jen. Thank you for that. Was it Jason in the end? No. was what Jason in the end. Anyway, Jason, when he was still riding his motorbike and we would go out to where Keith's accident, you know, with where Keith's accident was, and I would see Jason pull up and he was kind of high and whatever, you know, all of that kind of stuff. My chest dropped. You know what I had to do? I literally couldn't think about my son dying because I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to die. So I literally had to look at him. I had to look at my no, it was Jason on the motorbike. Absolutely. Jason's alive. It was him on the motorbike. But I had to look at him and just tell him I loved him and just connect with him in any way I could and not think about anything else. Like I literally put blinders on like this and said, I'm okay. I'm okay. Thank you for that. Oh my God, really? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Pressure in the ears. So I had to do that. And anyway, I don't think about Jason dying anymore. And there were many car accidents after Keith with Jason. He went through 3 cars, motorcycle, and he could not. No, it's not a dream. It actually happened. Jason was hit by a car after Keith died, the day after. No, what happened with Jason, he bought a bike July 21st. A bike like Keith's, but the next model up. They took Keith's bike off the market, okay? So Keith wouldn't have been allowed to ride that bike on a street bike because there were so many problems with it after. But Jason bought another bike, and he called me one night from Alquadelcy, which is up north, and he said, Mom, it was a brand new bike, and he said, Mom, he said, the bike stalled. It's on the freeway. I said, get the fuck off the freeway. It's 10 o'clock at night, pitch black up north, right? Up in the canyon country up there. So he said, someone's going to steal. Poppy seeds or heroin. Heroin is made from poppy seeds. That's why they grow poppies in Afghanistan, because they harvest the poppy seeds. I don't know what they do to them. But anyway, Jason pulled the bike off the freeway. I told him to just leave it there. We'll get it in the morning. We'll get a tow truck. We'll get it. He had to go to work, so we went down to CBS. We came back. The bike was gone. The bike was gone, okay? So it was gone. He said, I told you they'd steal it. So we called the sheriff. And Jason said, I'm going to have to go get another bike, and I've only got like $5,000 to spend. My money's gone. Many cars were gone and all of that. Anyway, long story short, he injured himself, all of that stuff. Anyway, when we called the sheriff's department, because you have to call the sheriff's department to report the bike stolen, because the clutch gave out. If he was on the freeway with that clutch and it stalled, like it stopped, he was trying to get on the freeway, brand new bike, clutch stop, boom. He would have died because some car would have hit him going 80. Couldn't even fucking think about it in my head. Oh my gosh, Tim, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you. You guys, thank you for that. Thank you very much. Look at you too. Thank you. That's so great because now I have to hire another lawyer to go forward with our lawsuit with all of the information. Jen and Tim, thank you so much for that. So appreciated. Anyway, I phoned the sheriff, okay? And the sheriff answered and I said, thank you for that. And I said to the sheriff, he kind of had a weird attitude. So I just said, what's your name when I call back? When we find the information, there was information off the license I didn't have on me. And he said, or Jason didn't have on him. And he said, my name, so he gave his number and he said, my name is Keith. He was on the speakerphone and Jason and I looked at each other and his name was Keith. So Jason went and got a car and said he wouldn't drive a bike again. So that's what happened. And that's what happened. Thank you, Tim and Jen, for that. So you have to understand, if you look at every child as dying, then you're kind of focusing your energy on that. And I just had to not. I just have to say, I would see Jason at dinner. I will see him at the park. I will see him at the car. I will hug him. Yes, he stopped riding the bike at that point. It's exactly when he stopped riding the bike. Yes, he has a car and now he's got baby Meadow. So Meadow can't be on a motorbike. And so Keithy was protecting Jason. Yes, that's exactly right. Keithy was protecting Jason. And so from that point on, then I just have to assume my child's going to be okay. That's all I can assume. That's the only thing. I cannot go anywhere else. I can only live in the moment at this point. Yeah, I can't drive near motorbikes. They give me anxiety. I actually start to have. Lila and Meadow are so cute. I know. And they look alike and their hair is the same. They both got a full head of thick hair and they're both sweet babies. Just sweet babies. Um, just sweet. So yeah, no, it's not a mere coincidence. So yeah, no, but here's the thing. Often we look into the future. That's what we're taught. I want you to understand another concept of yeah, that's it. I know, right? I want you to understand there's another concept when it comes to this planet energetically, what they do to keep us bound in fear. If you have little kids and you're raising your little kids, first you're afraid the little kid is, are you healthy, right? Are you eating right? Is your baby going to be born okay? Will your baby have a disease? Will your baby die? Will this happen? Will that happen? All of that. Instead of focusing on the moment, we tell our kids, think about college, go to school, do this. That's all in the future. You might not make it there. We tell them, look what happened in the past. Look what happened here. Don't do that. Only right here. Only think right here from this perspective right here. What can I do right now? What is happening right now? What am I doing right now? Right? Bobby knows I'm going to text her back the answer to all her questions after I sent Bobby the whole file too. I'm going to text Bobby back. I see all your questions. I just can't answer because I'm on the phone. So when you live in the moment and it's practical in the moment, then you are not focused on fear over here or regret back here, which I'll speak for myself. I have a lot. But I learned after Keith died, literally, hi, Bobby, thank you. I'm getting all your texts. I'm going to answer after, but the phone's there, so I can see what you're writing. Anyway, the one picture I sent you is David. Remember, you talked to David and his girlfriend, Clarissa, and you saw the car, and I saw the car, and we know the car. So I forgot you were alive. I didn't tell you, or maybe I did, but I was so excited to tell you I got that. But we have to live in the moment, because if you start to worry about all your other kids dying, then kind of what you're doing is focusing on that negative. Stick right here. If your child is right in front of you, focus on your child. To Candy, whose daughter was murdered, and I'm so sorry, just before her 21st birthday, what you need to do with your child, your remaining child, is just, my child is coming. I'm going to make sure they eat good. They have a cozy bed to stay in. The room smells good. I'm going to show them this place, that place, and everything. And just do your work day by day. Just do that day by day by day. I know it's extremely hard. I had to compartmentalize. I couldn't even think. When Jason and Kenna got pregnant, I just had to go day by day by day with them. I couldn't think about what happens over here, what happens back there. I can't handle it. I couldn't do it. So now I just think right now. So today what I did is what I did. I'm not thinking about what tomorrow or whatever. So I'm just not. Go read Operation Underground Railroad, which is a great idea, but go read their financials. Out of 64 million, maybe 30 something million went to the charity that they say they're doing, and the rest went to the bureaucrats in the organization, I believe, if I'm correct. Yeah, Andrea, I agree with you. I can't think anymore. I literally can't think. I cannot plan for the future. I barely could ever plan for the future. I just can't. I try, and I hope your daughter will overcome her heroin addiction. She has to deal with her trauma. Heroin addiction, any addiction is trauma. So there's a trauma through childhood all the way up, and she's not dealing with the trauma. She has to speak her trauma and deal with it. I have to live in the now, or I can't. You checked there. Am I correct? Let's get real. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you again, Tim and Jen. Thank you. You two are always so generous. Thank you so much for that. Nothing wrong with the middle path. Yeah, whatever the middle path is. I just think right here. Yeah, right now, this is what I'm doing. I don't have plans for retirement. I don't think like that. I might not retire. I don't think about my future, and I don't think about my past anymore. Sometimes it creeps up on me, but I can't go there. I can't go there. I cannot. Oh, you guys are cute. I cannot do that. 500 plus children missing in Maui. So insane. No one's speaking about it. So until they speak about it, I do respect the owls. I like owls. Buddhists say depression is caused from living in the past. Yeah, it is, because you're thinking about what you could do. If I think about the past, I think of Keithy and Jason and what I could do differently and all of that. And Keithy's not here. So yes. Worrying accomplishes nothing. I have worried and I do get anxiety and things happen. But I will say that when Keith died, I could feel nothing. So I can tell you I'm angry. I can raise my voice, but nothing affects me. I don't feel shit. I don't feel happy. I don't feel sad. I don't feel, you could punch me, bite me, scratch me. I don't feel any of that. I don't feel anything. I literally feel nothing. I don't feel anything. So that happened when Keith died. It hasn't come back. So I'm not the same. Like I used to really feel things. I don't feel it. I can observe things. So I can observe it. Okay? But I live, just, what if? I'll tell you something. What if my son lived? He didn't live. He died. So I can't live in the what if either. Yeah, shock must have saved me because I literally feel nothing. I used to be afraid to fly. Now I get on a plane and I'm like, it'd be fucking funny if it crashed. Like, I'm just like, I know. I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus. I pray to Jesus and I pray to God. I have never not been. What I'm saying is the Bible has been done with people. I'm sorry, Gina. The Bible has been written by man. Man is just an abomination 90% of the time. I used to have a fear of flying. I do not have it anymore. I don't, like, I'm like, wow, you could die now. It's okay. It's okay. Whatever. Like, I literally don't feel anything. I mean, I think you could pull a knife on me or threaten to shoot me and I'm like, okay. Literally, everything went out of me when Keith died. So there's no other way I can tell you, but there's just no other way. I don't know. The missing children in Maui are not strange. The parents are dead, I guess, and the missing children in Maui are taken for a reason. We know the reason. It's trafficking. Witchcraft is very real. They tell you it's not real. They also tell you, I'm guarding my heart. I don't have any feeling whatsoever in my heart at all. I just know how I'm supposed to behave and what I'm supposed to do. But for feelings, I don't fucking have feelings anymore. I couldn't even date because I can talk to you. But like, if you probably rub my shoulder, I'd be like, okay. Like, there's no reaction to anything like that. I know to say thank you. I know to say please. I know to put a smile on my face. I know to do certain things because I know, but I don't feel it. So it's weird. That's a weird thing. I do feel tattoos when they're done. Like after 6 hours, I'm like, yeah, ouch, that hurts. But voodoo is extremely real. Voodoo is very real. Witchcraft is real. The government uses it. The higher ups use it. And they do not tell people that. And you're told you're crazy. Oh, witchcraft doesn't work. You can't do that. Yeah, my tooth, I still haven't pulled it and it's still sore because I can't bear to pull it. So I guess maybe I'm a coward in that way. No, I haven't found a dentist yet and I don't want to pull my tooth. So I guess it's just infected and eating the side of my face. I don't know. You got to pull it before. Yeah. Yes, I would do both arms. I'll probably do everything because I got nothing else to do, right? So I'll do that. Just not right now. I have to fill this little space right here. This is our last space. Me and Ruger decided we're going to fill this, but we don't know with what. Yeah, no, witchcraft, walnut oil, exactly. Witchcraft is 100% real. Witchcraft is 100% real. They can manipulate the energy. They can send things. That's why you have to have some source in the name of Jesus, amen, to protect your energy field. It's all about energy. It's not about, you're good looking. I'm going to tattoo Lila and Meta. You know it. That's the next thing. It's not anything about any of that. You're good looking. You have money. That's not what they're jealous of. Yes, I've done spells early on in my life. Absolutely. Yes. Before I knew better. Absolutely. I don't try to manipulate now at all in any way. I don't do anything like that. And my spells, if you want to call them spells, were like to bring happiness or money or peacefulness, that kind of thing. No, I don't do it now. Yeah, no, I don't do it. I mean, I'm talking 40 years ago. I'm talking when I was 10, 11, 12, that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I don't do it now. If I do any kind of manifestation, it's from the perspective, okay? It's from the perspective of I would like abundance in every area of my life. That kind of thing. It's not like I want a specific person in my life or I want that amount of money from doing that job, because I don't even know what the right job is for me. So what I do now when I do manifestation is I ask God to put me in alignment with what he wills for me to do. And that I learned from Deanna. So that is what I do. I ask God to put me where he needs me to be in this life. So, and since Keith died, that's really what I do. I also, this tells me no. Oh yeah, we do all kinds of things to ourselves. That's what I do. Okay, so, and the other thing, no, The Craft, those are really real movies. The other thing I do, and I do this 100%, because even Jesus got mad, even Jesus cussed, even Jesus was human. I'm allowed to be human. I'm not floating on fucking air, okay? So, if you throw an ice ball into my front door and hit me with it, that's you coming into my space to harm me. So I put up mirrors all around me like a teepee, and I send the energy back to you. To you, whoever you are. I don't put a name in. Ice ball, I'm Canadian. You know those kids used to make the ice balls and whip them at your face to give you a black eye, or was that just my childhood? Anyway, because you were supposed to throw snowballs, not ice balls. But what I do is I send it back to whoever sent it to me. I do not name them, because you can have an idea. You can say, I think Mary sent me this fucking shit, right? And it might not have been Mary. Mary might be a bitch to you, and she might be up your ass bugging you, and you're like, it's got to be fucking Mary. But it could be somebody else, because you don't know. And I found this out. The level of people in your personal life, probably family members, who smile like this and do shit and don't like you and hate your guts from behind your back. So I do not know who likes me. Just because they smile and are pretending to be my friend does not mean anybody is my friend. I have no knowledge of what they really feel like underneath. I can't tell. And I really can't tell now since Keithy passed. I could never tell before. I was always confused. But that's right. It is life. So I do not name the people I send it back to. I just send it back where it came from. So if you sent it, it's going back to you. And it's going back tenfold to you. And it's going to fuck you up. Because you're not supposed to be doing that to me. So if you try to break into my house, I'm going to send that energy back to you. Whoever you are. I don't know who the you are. So I ask to send it back to whoever sent it to me. That's it. So that's all I do. And I think I'm allowed to do that because you started it. And people say, and they often use the word turn the other cheek out of frequency. You do not turn the other cheek in the reference to child trafficking, child rape, child abuse. You do not turn the other cheek. You do not turn the other cheek. That is some coward ass shit. Speak up and set a boundary. And what about that young girl that went missing? Speaking of, the young girl that went missing in wherever the heck she went missing. Do you remember? Yes, my candles exploded. That was a protection prayer and they exploded. I did a protection with my children. That was protection. So I know. Who turns the other cheek? Oh yeah, here, go, attack me. Let me turn the other cheek. That makes you a coward. Stand in your energy. That's a lie when they say turn the other cheek. Stand in your power and stand up for yourself. You may get nowhere. But if somebody hits, tell them, don't hit me. If they do it again, say, I told you not to do that. And then protect yourself. Yes, don't worship, I can't say that word, celebrities. Don't do that. Don't put them on a pedestal. They're garbage. Absolutely. My candle blew up. I was doing protection candle to keep Jason and Keith safe. That's actually what I was doing. I was praying to God. It was a white candle. And I asked for Jason and Keith to be safe because I knew one of them was going to pass. I knew that. I knew that. I was told that. I kept saying it. That's what happens. I get psychic Tourette's and they give me the information and then I say it. And I usually tell the people. And they usually laugh at me. And it happened with Jimmy and it happened with Keith. So, but I didn't know it was Keith. I thought it was Jason or Keith. I stand in my cake energy. Yeah, the candle exploded. And then I went to Deanna. This was about 2 weeks before Keith. I said, which one of them is it? And she was like, I can't see it. She could see the chaos. She saw the woman. She saw a bunch of stuff. She could not see which one it was. And I knew it was one of them. I knew it. Oh, it blew up. The energy broke. And I was trying to break the energy, but it almost caught fire to my kitchen. So it was something that was already there. If I hear it, it's going to happen. It happened with Jimmy. That's the first time it really affected me because they kept telling me that when I got pregnant with Keith, they told me one would come and one would go. So through the whole pregnancy, I kept wondering when Jimmy was going to die. And then I heard by Halloween, and he died October 9th. I heard by September with Keith, and he died July 29th. That's actually what happened. I got it with Keith 2 months before Keith died. Well, June 17th, I was at Lila's party talking to the other parents, and it came out of my mouth. That's how it works for me. I'm not doing a spell with that. Some people say you said it, it's going to happen. It's always been that way for me as a child. I speak it and it happens. The reason I'm speaking it is because the information's flowing through me and I can't not do it. That's how I give information. So I say things and that's what happens. That's how it happens for me. That's just, and it's happened 4 times in my life with 4 family members that have passed, and 2 of them being children. One of them being biological, one of them being my stepson. I did tell Jimmy the week before he died. I did. That's clairaudient. That's how it comes. And then they hammer my head with it like this. One of your kids is going to die by September, and it just all day long, boom, 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 boom in my head. So I have to get it out. I have to say it. It's already in motion when that happens, or I wouldn't be picking it up. So that's the thing. Yeah. What's your understanding of ICH? I don't know what ICH. I told both Keith and Jason my exact words to my boys, who I loved very much, but they were very like aggressive, feisty, fighty, boxing type kids. When they walked through the living room, I said, one of you 2 bitches is going to die by September. You need to be fucking careful. And I literally felt it. And that's what I said to them. And they both, it was Jason first going through the living room, and then Keith right behind him, like the 2 of them, running up the stairs like they triple take the stairs, and they both laughed at me. I said, it won't be funny when it fucking happens. And that is what I said. Hi, Anthony. And that is what I said. I said the same thing to Jimmy. A week before he died, I had lunch with him. I said, how do you want me to bury you? How do you want me to bury you? And he told me, and that is how we buried him. He did tell me. He wanted a very traditionally Catholic. I couldn't get him to listen to me any other way. No, they all laughed at me. The day before Jimmy died, I called Jimmy. And I said, you're going to fucking die. Like, I could not get it out of my head. And the reason I called him was not specifically to say that to him. But his drug counselor had called me and said, unless he goes in on his own, I had to stop driving him there. Because me, Keith, and Jason used to drive him there to the drug therapy person, rehab person. Not rehab. It wasn't rehab. It was day therapy. So I would sit and breastfeed Keithy in the car, and Jimmy and Jason would be there, and Jimmy would go in. I did pick his clothing. He told me he wanted to be buried in the outfit he wore to the wedding, which I have a picture 2 weeks before. Yeah, he OD'd. 2 weeks before he went to a friend's wedding, and he wore his dad's black cashmere jacket with his dad's wedding tie, the tie that John wore in his wedding. That's how he was buried. And every year John looks for that jacket and looks for it to wear it at Christmas and can't find that jacket. So we bought him another jacket like that so he doesn't have to look for the jacket that's in the ground. Anyway, I had lunch with Jimmy, and the drug counselor called me, and it was probably 4 hours before he died. It was that afternoon. It was like 3 p.m. And I said, Jimmy, you have to go. And he laughed at me because he was a Sag. He laughed all the time. I had such a volatile temper, and he was so easygoing and free. And I was like, like this. I used to call him and go, I think your dad's cheating. And he would laugh his ass off at me because he would just laugh. He would just think I was crazy. I would just think I was fucking crazy. And and so I said, it's not funny, Jimmy, you fucking asshole. And I hung up on him and he died. He would have died probably like after 9 o'clock that night. And we found him the next morning. Yeah, he overdosed. He overdosed. So that's what happened to him. And he was a Sag. Yeah. No, and I screamed at Jason and Keith. I sat in that living room and it was maybe the week before they died, 2 days before Keith, maybe 3 days. And I said, it was a week before maybe, I said, one of you bitches, if you were not careful, and I told them, do not drive your motorbikes, do not drive your car, please watch what you're doing, because I am literally hearing this. And then they laughed. So I said, your astrology charts are showing like I tried everything. If they didn't believe in psychic, I tried the astrology. So there's that. Yeah, there's that. That's what happened. So I've said it, and there's, I had one client, I told her she was going to have a car accident on her. I told her to watch her driving because I heard it real clear. So when I hear it, I tell you. When I hear it, I will tell you. Some people say, don't tell me if you hear it, but I can't help to do that. Anyway, I went to Deanna's house maybe 2 weeks before Keith and Jason, and we sat there, and she kept trying to get which one it was. She said, they're not, but I see all this chaos, and I see this. She saw all the chaos around it and all of that shit, but could not tell me. I tried like hell, and people are like, no, your kids are fine. And I'm like, no, I know. But I know when I know. And so that was a problem. I'm not always accurate. I was accurate with that. I'm not always accurate, but with that, I heard it. When it comes in like that and it starts hitting me like this, when someone taps you and you're like, what the fuck are you doing? That's why I have to speak it. So I have to speak it like that, because if I don't, that's what happened. No, I don't think it was Keith's destiny. The timeline switched. Jimmy, I was told when I got pregnant with Keith that Jimmy would die. I was told that. I mean, the voice in my head told me. One's coming, one's going. And that's what happened. It happens. It happens. I love Saggies. Yeah, I love little Saggies. Metal's a Sag rising. She's going to be an exerciser. It's going to be so exciting. She's going to love all the physical. It's going to be so great. Yeah. Oh, Betty, it's when you lose something you love, it's very, yeah, no, Keith, I saw him till he was, I saw both my kids too. I switched out of like dimensions when I gave birth. I saw Jason hand Lila to John when Jason was 19 and spoke it. No, he was my stepson. Jimmy was my stepson. He was my kid's brother, my stepson, and my friend. I know, Gina, it's just, yeah, timeline switched. He was my stepson. He was John's son. He was born in 67 and I was born in 66. He would be 56 this year. I'm 57. He would be turning 56 in December. And I love Jimmy. I mean, he came and stayed at our house. He thought I was crazy. He used to watch Keith when I went running. After I had Keith, he grilled chicken dinner for me every night. Grilled chicken and vegetables so I could lose my fat ass after giving birth. So he would go out and he was so great. He would go out and he would grill the dinner. It was so nice. And then he would teach Jason how to cook. And that was so lovely. And so he would crack eggs for breakfast for Jason. And Jason was like 3.5, 4. And he would crack eggs. So one day he comes in the kitchen and he's like, you're the same age as Jimmy, love is Scorpio. And he was like, Jason threw the egg on the floor. And Jimmy's like, why did he do that? And because he saw you do it in the pot. He just didn't know the pot. He couldn't get up to the stove. That's what it was. So Jimmy was like, no one ever thought Jimmy was my husband. They knew John was my husband. Jimmy did everything with John and I really liked Jimmy. No one, there wasn't that kind of thing. People always try to imply that, but I really felt Jimmy was my friend. I really loved Jimmy as a friend. And he was my kid's brother, and that's it. And it was nice. I mean, he was just a nice kid. He was a nice boy. And I loved his girlfriend, Cindy. Cindy's daughter passed away. She passed away. Cindy was Keith's godmother. So I called her like last year to tell her Keith died. It occurred to me I didn't tell her. And how would she know? Because she kind of disappeared after Jimmy died, like about a year or so after. And her daughter passed away in 2019 from fentanyl overdose. And so she lost her daughter, and then Keithy passed. So um, we're the same age, Cindy and I. So we were talking about that. So it was interesting. And so that was something, yeah, that was something that happened in that. Yes, I'm going to say, I'm going to say the timelines. So yeah, poor Cindy was going through the same thing. So like sad, right? Anyway, timeline changes are interesting because timelines, dimensions. Look at dimension. Okay, look at a violin. Look at I know my heart broke for her daughter, was so darling. And she has a younger daughter as well. So she has one child left, and that child died, and that was a huge problem. So I went through it in 2020. She went through it in 2019. And I think her daughter was just 20, and she found her because she was cooking breakfast. And she told me, she almost told her little daughter to go wake her big sister up. But then she said something changed her mind, and she went in there and she found her daughter. So I know how traumatized she is. I understand how traumatized she is. Okay, so timeline. Look at a violin. Look at a violin. Hold the violin and look at the strings. Each of those strings is a timeline, and the violin is a dimension, okay? So we're on Earth in a dimension. So the strings, okay? So I don't know what got him on drugs. So the strings are within the timeline, okay? So don't think about losing your son, your worst fear. Don't put your worst fear in your thinking. Don't do that. Do not, I don't know who plays the violin. I just came up with the violin. Do not think of your worst fear. Your worst fear is not your fear if it hasn't happened. If it hasn't happened, it's not your worst fear. It's only your worst fear when it happens. So when you lose a child and you see them in the morgue or on the ground dead, that is your worst fear, but it's actually happening. If it hasn't happened, don't put the thought in your head. Do not put that thought in your head. Do not do that. Okay, so you're holding the violin. Here it is. Here's the strings on the violin. Each one of those strings is a frequency. Think of that, music notes and frequency. Okay, so the frequency or the lack of frequency is what keeps you in a particular timeline. Okay, so a timeline. I get up, I go to school, I live at this house, I eat Pop-Tarts, I smoke cigarettes, I drink coffee, I eat pizza for dinner, I go to bed. Okay, so that. When you strum on another string, for whatever reason, your energy goes to a different vibration. For whatever reason, you move to another one of those strings on the violin. Now, you go to school, but you ate omelets for breakfast, you no longer smoke, and you work out every day. That's a different frequency. Now, why did the timelines change? What they've been doing, what the witches and warlocks who are up there doing shit above the astral level, they have been pulling on those strings. And because it's a spiritual war, some of us are going in and out of different timelines, okay? In and out of different timelines, and experiencing a parallel reality to what we set out to experience, and not through our own frequency elevation. It's through the compilation of groups of other people. Okay, so that's what's happening. Each string has a unique sound. There's a frequency to it. Yeah, CERN opened up a timeline, but it happened before that, because I saw Keith at age 42. Each time I gave birth to my children, I popped back out of my body. And yeah, clothes come up missing, exactly. Affects your third eye. I'm sure junk food isn't good. It grounds me. When I eat junk food, I get grounded. So they're opening up frequencies, but that's because they're fighting a war. Now understand, if you are in charge of the violin, the dimension, all of the people sitting on those tiny strings, which is us humans on Earth, right? Little humans. And so then there's a bigger body of people that hold the violin and want things to happen for the violin. Those people are using frequency things and they are shifting them in and out, and they're out of control right now. Yes, exactly. Bow above the strings. Yeah, I meant bow above the strings. Okay, exactly. So we are being forced into different timelines. And it's not usually like if you go on a timeline, think about it like you change a lifestyle habit or you do something like this, right? And you go into a different timeline. They're pushing us backwards and forwards, and people are going fucking crazy and ending up depressed, sleeping in their bedroom all day. That's actually what's happening. It's very strange. So our timelines are just way out of control, and it's a huge problem for us. Like, it's a huge problem. So COVID was probably a huge thing too. It is a spiritual war, and they want to stop those that come from the God source from recognizing our complete power and our complete frequency to autonomy with God and the strength that we have over them. God's children, I love that I have a pencil and I'm pointing like I'm like on a lecture. Fucking hilarious. Anyway, God's children, which are those that are born in God's light and are here at this time to speak on that level vibration wise, to show those that come from the beast system that they can't get away with their shit. The people that are speaking on that frequency, they don't want us to know that we stand with God, not the government, not this, not that, that we stand with our own power. We can create, we can do so much. They don't want you to know that. They do not want you to know that. They want none of that. They do not want you to know that. And that is a huge problem. That is what they are trying to do. Yeah, nothing's back again. That's it. But that's like timeline, okay? That's timeline. So, it's happening all day long. It's happening all day long. Also, understand that I have 700 different lipsticks on. Thank you so much. If you are of God and you are a threat because people listen to you because you have purpose on this planet, they have to distract you from your godly purpose or your purpose during this time frame. They have to distract you. So the way that they distract you is by fucking they say mask mandates, don't pay. If you people pay attention to it, I don't know what to say. Don't pay attention to it. Do not do it. Tell them to fuck off. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, they distract. I figured out what was so itchy. I banged these two little earrings and they're like itchy. They're trying to heal. Understand, if you are at a particular frequency where you vibrate and understand what they're doing and you're going to fight this war on earth, on this side, stand up for it, speak for it, and to do that, what is going to happen is they send out entities, demonics, those kind of things, into people's whose vessel they can get into. So drunk people, high people, lower vibration frequency people, depressed people, all of that. And they enter into a body for a second. So you may be riding your bicycle on the side of the street and a demonic presence knows that you're on God's side and wants to take one of God's out. And so they literally have an entity go into that body and drive the car off the road, and then the person is back to normal and doesn't even know how they hit the person. Spiritual hitman, that's exactly correct. So there's the whole world, neighborhood, houses are frequencies. If you run down on a frequency on a street that's a bad frequency, no, I didn't see the movie Nefarious, then you can be taken out. Jason begged Keith not to take his bike to that shop on that street. They got into a fight about it. Jason said, go to my mechanic, go over here. He begged him. And I will also tell you, I've already told this story, but I'm going to tell it again. Forgive me if you just heard it. I don't remember when I told it. But the day after, might have been a day after and just before Jason got hit on the bike, or it could have even been after Jason got hit on his bike, or his ankle was run over by the lady wearing a mask and her husband wearing a mask. drove over his foot at a stoplight and just fucking sat there and did nothing. He was pounding on it and they wouldn't see him. That's a spiritual attack. Anyway, Jason had like a vision dream, where he was sitting in our living room. John was on the couch. Jason was on the couch. Keith walked in the front door with his helmet on, ran upstairs. John said to Jason, don't tell him he's dead. He'll stay longer, in the vision of Jason's, as it was repeated to me from Jason. Keith came downstairs, just in our normal house. It looked like our house. Sat on the table. We have like a low pine table. Keith sat down there, took his helmet off. And so Jason tried to keep really quiet, tried to keep quiet. And then said to, I'll answer that in a second, from my ability, best of my ability. And so Jason said to John, to his dad, I have to tell him he died. So Jason said, he told Keith, you died in a motorcycle accident. And he said, Keith stood up really angry. And Jason stood up and said, but you died in a motorcycle accident. And then he said he felt Keith's energy come really close to him. And then he said, they kind of like chest butted, like they would do that. Like, I'm stronger, you're stronger. You know how they do that? Jason's a medium, whether he likes to do it or not. It was an out-of-body astral thing. He was telling part of Keith's spirit that was in the house and coming home. And he said Keith got so mad at him that the energy just whooshed and left Jason's body like that. I know. Jason's very sensitive. He's always been that way. He remembered all my past lives when he was little, 2.5. Well, a few of them. And he remembered John from the past life, and he would always travel out of body. And he told me about the silver cord. I'm not allowed to say any of this, but I will. But he basically, that's called crossing Keith over, because part of Keith's consciousness, we are in different states of consciousness. So we always are on the other side with God. Okay, we are always with God. But part of our consciousness comes down here. And we live this life here without understanding that we're still there. So part of Keith's consciousness did not understand that he died. And so Jason crossed him over. Very important job that he trusted his brother to do. Very important. Very, very important. So that's calling crossing over. So we are always with God, but part of our consciousness is here. And I've got to tell you guys this. I know what Pixar is doing. You guys are like looking at me like she's fucking crazy tonight. And thank you, Tim and Jen, again for the donations, which I started to say now that I have all of the police files that I tried to get. I have an open lawsuit. So I have to find another lawyer to continue on with my open lawsuit for Keith, because my other lawyer ran into some trouble and had to skedaddle out of town. That's all I'm saying. And my divorce lawyer was the one that handled the information for me so that I could get the information to continue what I needed to look through the files. Anyway, so there you go. One lawyer skedaddled and one stepped up over here. And there'll be yet a third one. So I've got to continue with that. Anyhow, all of that aside, I was with baby Caden, Paige's baby. I know another lawyer, but that because it's an actual lawsuit and it's in holding. So we have to start serving the people and do that. So that money goes towards that. So I appreciate that. Yeah, Keith trusted Jason immensely. Jason doesn't know how special he is. He doesn't see that. He's a true healer. I gave him the name Jason because he's a healer, and Jason means healer, and that's why I gave him that name. Keith means warrior, so that's why I gave him that name. But anyway, I was with baby Caden, who's 7 months old, and he's so cute. Anyhow, he likes this Pixar movie. And so Paige was telling me, and I looked at her, I said, I don't want to watch kids' movies. She's like, this is a good movie. I'm like, no, I can't hear you. No more kid movies. Anyway, this movie was called, I forget what it was called, but it was about this little girl. And in her mind, she had joy, happiness, love, fear, and sadness, right? I think, it's that Pixar movie. I don't know the name. So the little girl is in her movie, and down this little thing comes these little round balls, like little shiny balls, right? Part of Keith's soul, yeah. Part that did not realize he was dead. We're frequency, and we're multi. When Keith died, he crossed through me when I was in his bed that night. And when Keith crossed through me, I felt all of him. He was all around me. It wasn't just Keith like this. he was all around me, like his energy, like it was fragmented in little snowflakes all around me. I felt it. Anyway, that movie with the little balls, they come down. So the consciousness comes down. So the sad part, the little girl's trying to bring out the happy ball, but the sad ball comes down, right? I go to Paige. They're stealing our consciousness. Do you understand that? Those balls are representative of pieces of memories. Joy memories were there. They're getting ready to steal our consciousness, take fragments of our memories out of our brain and take the consciousness like that. You know the name of the movie. Paige told me and I was like, I can't hear you, la la la. Yeah, so they're getting ready for the consciousness. If you don't like the depression, you just move that experience out. The little balls said, oh, inside out. Okay, thank you. That's what you're saying. Thank you. You take the thank you. It took me a while. Yes, they want to take our consciousness and put it in AI. The non-humans, which are the beast system people, they don't have their own creative consciousness that connects to God. And all of the feelings we have, they mirror us and they mimic us. That's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, that is the problem. That's what we're dealing with. So when I was watching it with little Caden, and he notices it. These kids notice these kid movies. He was bouncy like this. He's bouncy. So they steal part of our consciousness and they claim it as their own. Don't let them do that. Yes, transhumanism. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do that. Because by taking your energy and attaching to it, they're stealing your memories. Your memories are precious because you actually live them. Whether in death, whether in life, whether in laughter, whatever it is, your memories are precious. Do not give them away. They're selling pieces of us. Yeah, I know they're tricked, right? I know. Those stupid people download it. I know. They're so dumb. Thank you, Robin, for that. Thank you all. This is so dumb. Anyway, that's that. Okay, last thing I'm answering because I'm freaking starving. I pray to Jesus. Amen. That's the only thing I know how to do. Thank you for that. I'll give them my consciousness, all right. Okay, how to raise your psychic energy. This is the only way I know how to do it. Salmon time, how did you know? The only way I know how to raise my vibration in any way, shape, or form, the only way I know how to do it. Number 1, pray. Number 2, exercise in nature. Nature connects to God. So exercise. Number 3, after I exercise, I ask before I go to sleep for my psychic ability. For example, if I want to see spirits better, that's the kitty down there. If I want to see them better or hear them better before I go to sleep, I ask my guides to make that ability open up. I use crystals, but mostly I hike. And when I'm hiking, I'm talking to myself the whole time in my head, not out loud. That's what I do. I try to eat properly and be kind. And I try to trust my gut instinct no matter what it is. Yeah, I know the bears are coming over. Exactly. I have to do it on the, what's that thing called? The air fryer because I ran out of propane outside. So he won't come. I mean, I'm going to do it on the air fryer. So that's what I need to do in order to, behind you, the lighting from the sides instead of direct on. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. It's just ridiculous, these fractures. That's the only way I know how to do it, okay? That's the only way I know how to do it. I love you all. No, I'm going to use the air fryer for the salmon. I have salmon in the fridge and put it in the air fryer in the house. I don't put it in the oven. It's too hot here. Like I'm sweating and I'm stinky and sweaty. I can't. Oh yeah, the girl went missing. Sorry, let me finish that one. So the girl went missing here. Let me look up where she went missing. I found this this is satanic. I went right to her father and something, and I don't mean to say that like that. Hold on. Girl found dead. After, yeah, this one. What's her name? Okay, California woman shot and kidnapped from boyfriend's car. 19-year-old woman. Her name, Andrea Vasquez. And she went missing when she was with her boyfriend in the car. She's really cute. She went missing in Whittier, I think. Or maybe Monterey Park is where they found the boyfriend. Where they found the killer. Anyway, she went missing and the boyfriend was there when the guy came up with a gun, shot the girlfriend, pulled her out of the car. The boyfriend, no, I'm not going on a dinner date. I've got a little baptism with baby Cade tomorrow, so I got to get up early to see my little baby Cade get his little baptism done, which is going to be super exciting. So anyway, the little girl was in the car with her boyfriend, and I guess the boyfriend went to get help. I think he should have charged the guy with the gun. That's just me, but I can't speak to him, and I really shouldn't say that because delicious. Air fryer is faster. Exactly. I just don't think that I should be judging that, so I'm going to take that back. But he went to get help. When he went back to the car, I guess the sister of the girl tracked the phone. Anyway, the kid that was arrested... Wait, parking stalls. Let's see. Vasquez and a man were at the parking stalls. She was in Whittier when an armed person approached the car and shot at them. The armed person's name, well, you can look it up. I don't want to even say his name. But he apparently is the son. What a beautiful child. He apparently is the son of an LAPD fire chief. Something is off with that. That's something, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know why you would do that. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then there's a little 9-year-old girl in Texas. I know, right? The kid's only 20 that shot her, though. And then there's the 9-year-old girl in Texas whose father is a migrant farm worker, looks like to me. Went to work probably with a group of people. His daughter called him and said it sounds like a setup to me too, said that somebody knocked on their apartment door. He told his daughter not to answer it. He asked his relatives to go look for her. They could not find her. When he got home from work, guess what? She was dead, raped, and murdered under the bed. And some idiot left a key in the apartment, and they found the key, and they found it to an apartment down the street. And this guy was like... He'd just been in town like 4 weeks. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Is that what occurs to you? Like, you come to town, you get a job, and the first thing on your mind is I must kill a 9-year-old in my apartment building because I'm going to make friends that way. That's demonic. That's the beast system. That's demonic. This poor little girl, 9 years old. Her father, I grieve for that man because not only does it look like there's a language barrier, they did find the killer, but he looks like he just came to America to work and is trying to do good and didn't have a wife or no one to watch his kid or whatever. And he's going to work and she's at home because it's summer vacation and she is 9 and the door is fucking locked. So she didn't answer it. She told her dad she didn't answer it. And I was like, I couldn't see her pick. I can't. And then there's the little boy, the little autistic boy in Texas. Well, he's 20 something. And I got an air fryer at Costco. I don't know, something with a C. The little boy in Texas that they've been looking for his parents for like 8 months. He's autistic little boy, but he's 20. He's nonverbal, little autistic boy. Adult man, but autistic boy. His fucking mother lived in the same town. He was found wandering down the street. Do you think that little boy doesn't know his fucking mother abandoned him? What is wrong with these people? And the woman, they found her and they put her in jail because she never claimed him. This little kid, that's the one, thank you. This, I forget the names, you guys come up with them. This little autistic boy, 20-year-old autistic boy, 24, 23, something like that. And I will look that up. Oh, now look, she's hungry too. She's doing that. Anyway, that little autistic boy, his mother, she wouldn't even claim him. What is that, lady? You don't get to just do that. What is that? Look at her. Hi. I'm getting the stink eye. I'm getting the stink eye. I know. I don't even know what to say to that. Thank you all for the super chats. Thank you. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. That is not God. Nobody was killed like that because there's a reason for everything. And forgiving them is not fucking helping. Standing up and changing the energy, okay? I have no idea what that just said. Anyway, what can I tell you? I don't know what to say. There's no lesson in that. There's no lesson. The girl was locked in an apartment and a predatory demon took her. So it is a spiritual war. That's what it is. My friend stopped to help a man in the road and he shot her. Is she okay or is she dead? I can't even. Of course she stopped. Of course she stopped. Because she was one of God's. And there's so many pedophiles. And one of the beast systems took her out. But don't worry. God will save the vengeance for him on that guy. That's what I'm going to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm so sorry that happened. Look, she's hiding back. She's like boring her eyes into me going, feed me, feed me, feed me. That's what she's doing. Okay, bye you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you so much, Tim and Jen. Thank you. Thank you all. I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all. Have a good night, weekend, whatever it is. I think it's Friday. I'm hoping it's Friday. Okay, bye. Bye, you guys. Peace out, everybody. Bye.